Hello, my friends. Welcome back to your yoga practice. I thought I would bring you a series of some of my favorite poses for different areas of the body, with this video being structured just on the hips. So, bringing you a few of my favorite poses to open up and stretch deeply into the hips. So, let's get started with our first pose, butterfly pose. Just bringing the soles of your feet together. And since we're focusing on the hips today, if you bring the feet out a little further away from you, you're going to get into the outer hip. So that's where I'm going to be practicing today, is getting into that outer hip. If you have the heels in closer to you, you're going to get more into the inner groin. So as we focus on the hips, let's send those feet a little further away. And just to lengthen the spine, just hold on to your feet, to your ankles, or to your shins. And really try to think of you're trying to lift up out of your low back. So not scrunching down and then just reaching from the chest. You're really extending the whole spine up and then just gently pressing down through the knees to support this lengthening. Take a big inhale and then exhale, coming into your fold here. And giving a little gentle bend in the elbows. You can release the feet. Now here, if you're really tight in the back, in the hips, this is where you can use your blocks or any props. Maybe you stack one or two blocks here and resting your head on the block so that you are not straining through the shoulders or the arms, and can just give your body a little added support here. Just taking about a minute to kind of give yourself your adjustments, your modifications to really be able to surrender into this pose. And remembering that the pose that I am in may look very different from the pose that you are in, even though they are both the butterfly pose. The main thing is that you are feeling a stretch, either in that outer hip, maybe you feel it in the low back, the mid back. And once you get yourself settled into the pose, then bring yourself to your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. And breathing into the back. And letting the head be heavy, dropping the chin in towards the chest. If you're on your block, just really let the head be supported here with the block. Relaxing your facial muscles, your jaw. And giving your body permission to just open up and release any tension, any tightness. And as it does that, just feel your body go a little deeper into the pose, totally organically. Never pushing, never pulling here in our yin practice. Maybe you allow the hands to be open to the floor, either palms facing up or down. Just taking a few more breaths here. Inviting in a cleansing breath. So inhaling fully and deeply through the nose, fill up your whole back. And then taking a big open mouth exhale. And either bringing the palms of the hands to the floor or to the legs or the feet, slowly pressing yourself up, coming up really slow. Feeling every part of this as you make your way back up. Bringing the head up last. Let the shoulders soften, and we're going to take 2 breaths here at the top. I invite you to keep the eyes closed, tuning into the sensations that you feel here in your body. Feeling this release of tension or tightness or stress in the body, letting that go. Let's take another big breath in and a big breath out. And opening the eyes. Very nice. Let's just support the legs here. Bring the knees in, extend the legs out. Just give them a little wiggle, a little shake to release there. Good. And then our next one, we will come into a seated twist. So bring your left heel over to that right glute, and then your right foot's going to cross right over that left thigh. I kind of like to wiggle myself side to side to find myself being able to root down through the sit bone, so I'm not rolling on my tailbone, and kind of moving that flesh out from the cheeks to really sink yourself down. Good. And then wrapping that left arm around you, let's take a nice lengthening stretch. So same concept here as we did as our butterfly pose. Think of lifting up out of the low back and then opening up into your twist. Bring that right hand back behind you. And then hugging the belly into the thigh into the belly. Let the legs relax. Notice where they might want to engage. And then we're going to breathe into the belly here. And each time you exhale, gently pulling the belly button towards the spine. And then maybe inviting a little bit more openness into your twist. So never cranking or forcing the body to go into this deep twist right away. Think of breathing through layers, and each time you exhale, you release another layer. And just letting the body open up when it's ready. And this pose, you should feel this on that outer right hip, maybe down the IT band, the glute. Relaxing your jaw. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last breath. Big breath in. On your exhale, untwist, coming forward. And then we'll come right into our shoelace pose. So you're going to stack that right knee over the left as much as you can. If there is a big gap here, you can use one of your blocks to support that leg. Or if this is still too intense for you, you can just bring that right leg in front of the left. And again, I always kind of just like to adjust my hips and my glutes to be able to sink down through those sit bones. And then bring the hands out in front of you, finding your length, lifting up out of the low back, big inhale. And then exhale, walking yourself forward. Now, instead of coming all the way straight into a forward fold here, I'd like you to take like 7 breaths, and each time you exhale, release a little deeper into this. So the other day in one of my classes, I gave the demonstration of like the 7-layer bean dip. So think that you are going through each layer. You're taking your time getting into this fold to really feel every part of this stretch and opening for the hip. So always invitation to close the eyes. And you can release the neck, let the head be heavy. And then just taking 7 breaths to get into your fold. You can also bring in your blocks here, maybe placing one out in front of you, resting the head here, or you can use both of them to rest your forearms down on. It's giving the body whatever support it needs here. Now we'll take another 5 breaths here. Slow the breath down. And taking a cleansing breath, big breath in, fill the back up. Big open mouth exhale. And coming up nice and slow. Take a pause here at the top. Big breath in. Big breath out. And opening the eyes. Let's take an external hip rotation. So now you're going to swing that right leg all the way back. So bringing that right heel to the right glute. And then you're going to bring your hands back behind you and externally rotating that right hip. And we're just going to hold here about 5 breaths, just thinking more of this as a counter pose. Release any gripping or clenching that may want to occur in that right glute. 5 breaths here. Last breath. Walking the upper body up. Shift your weight over to that left hip. Swing that right leg out. Let's just give that a little wiggle, a little shake before we go to the other side. So we'll come into our seated twist on this side. Right heel is going to come over to that left glute. Left leg crosses over. Adjusting yourself here. Good. Wrapping that right arm around. Taking that big lengthening inhale. And then exhale. Open into your twist. And if you're not feeling a deep enough stretch in that left hip, notice if the body is pitching towards the left more so, and bring yourself a little bit more to the right. So you're kind of trying to lift that left hip up, and then maybe you even walk that left foot a little further back. There's always little adjustments that you can take or do to amplify the pose for you, but still giving the body space to release the activation of the muscles here. Taking one more breath here. As you exhale, untwist, coming forward, making your way into your shoelace pose on this side. Good, making all those little adjustments. If you need props on this side, bring those in. And then walking the hands forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, taking your 7 breaths to let the body open up as you breathe through each layer. The layers being the fascia, the tissues, the joints, the ligaments, the muscles, as well as maybe any inflammation. Two more breaths here. Big breath in. Open mouth exhale to cleanse the body. Walking yourself up. Pausing here at the top. Big breath in. Big breath out. And we will shift over into that modified deer pose. So shifting over to that right hip, swinging that left leg all the way back behind. Bring the hands back behind you and externally rotating that left hip. So what that means is you're basically trying to send that glute, that hip to the floor. So you're getting this stretch here. The hips externally rotating, but you may feel this more so on the internal part. I'm taking 5 slow deep breaths here. Last breath. And coming up nice and easy. Shift to that right hip so you can extend that left leg out, giving that a little release. Very nice. Then we'll come into our last pose, which will be done lying down. So coming onto your back, lowering yourself down. And then we will cross that right ankle over the left thigh. and threading the arms through. So that right arm coming into that little opening, interlacing the fingers, either bringing the hands to the back of that left thigh or on top of the shin. And here, if you're a little tight in the shoulders and the neck, you can always use a block underneath the head to support. You want to find where the shoulders can release without gripping or pulling here. Give a slight flex in your right foot and let that left foot and leg relax. And I always like to take a few rocks side to side first. And a little bit deeper over to the left side as I'm stretching into that right hip. And then coming just to hold here in stillness and this pose. Breathing in and out through the nose. Taking one more breath on this side. Big open mouth exhale. Releasing your hands, lowering your feet to your mat. And before we go to the other side, let's just do a little windshield wiper. So widen your feet, the width of your mat, or if you're not on a mat, just having them further than the hips. Open your arms out to a nice big T. Keep the knees wide. So instead of letting the knees come in here, you're going to let the knees just be nice and wide. And then you're just going to drop the knees over to the right. Inhale back to center. Let them rock over to the left. And we'll do that one more each side. Inhale to center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Good. Coming back to center. Heel toe the feet back in so they're hip width distance. And then we'll do our reclined pigeon or swan on this side. So left ankle comes on top of that right thigh. Threading the arms through. And again, it's the left arm that threads through this little eye opener here, like a needle. Good. And interlacing the fingers. Let those shoulders soften. Flex that left foot, right foot and leg relax. Taking those few little rocks side to side here. And coming to center. Breathing. Taking a big inhale and a big exhale again. Releasing this pose. Come back to your windshield wipers, widen the feet, open your arms out. This time we'll start with dropping the knees over to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, knees fall to the right. Inhale to center, over to the left again. Inhale to center, back over to the right. Taking a big breath in and a big breath out. From here, just make your way all the way over to your right side in fetal pose. So just bring that left leg on top of the right. Roll yourself over, extend that right arm so your head can rest on your bicep. Left palm to the floor. Taking a big breath in and a big breath out. Making your way up to an easy seated pose. And just coming to close our practice together here. Let's bring the palms of the hands together. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Closing in gratitude for this time that you allowed for yourself, for your hips, for your body. I thank you for showing up for you and for showing up to practice with me today. May you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening. Namaste. Thank you so much, my friend, for practicing with me. I hope this really benefited your hips. And these poses I do often, like in the evening when I'm watching TV. My hips tend to get tight, and I just find it very relaxing to do a few poses in the evening if I remember. I don't always remember, but when I do, it's amazing. So again, I hope you enjoyed this practice. I hope it left you feeling Zen within. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this practice, please give it a like or a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Namaste.